Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Movies on the Move. This is the show where I talk about movies or some aspect of movies while I'm driving to or from someplace. Today we're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I just saw over the weekend. I'll get to my grade for the movie at the end, but this for the most part is going to be kind of a non-spoilery type video. If I do come across anything spoilery, I'll say so ahead of time, but for the most part I think it's a pretty spoiler-free review that I'm going to have for you guys today. So I'm going to start with the things that I liked about the movie. There were actually some good laughs in it. There were definitely some points that were very entertaining, very humorous. I think Michael Rooker's character probably has the best one in the movie for me, but there were definitely some very good moments of levity during the movie. Another thing that I liked about the movie was it was visually spectacular. All the visuals were done very well. They looked beautiful. They looked engaging. The colors were really well done, so I was really a fan of how they did the movie visually. There's some anti-aging CGI done in this movie, which if you've seen some other movies recently, there's been some hit or miss on some of those types of things. I thought the anti-aging CGI was done better in this one. It wasn't necessarily as distracting as I've seen in some other films recently, so I would give them a plus in that aspect. The other thing that I liked about this movie that I didn't get a lot of in the first one was the expanded backstory for Nebula, which is one of Thanos' daughters. So I was really happy to see a little more backstory and explaining her motivations and why she does the things that she does. So I was really happy to see that in this movie. So what I didn't like about this movie, I thought it was very drawn out. They probably could have cut a half an hour off of this movie and I'd been totally okay with it. And kind of that dislike goes into my second dislike of there was a lot of slow-mo in this movie to the point where it was distracting, to me at least at times. I'm not saying that it's Zack Snyder levels of slow-mo in 300, but there's a lot of slow-mo in this movie. So, you know, for me, that kind of drew me out of it and added to the runtime that I thought they could have cut down on some of that and gotten through it a little bit quicker. One of the interactions I didn't like is between Drax and one of the other semi-main characters, I guess a supporting character in this movie, but I just didn't like the interaction between the two of them. I thought it went on too long. I thought it went on too much. I just was not a fan of it, so I think it could have done with a lot less of that, and again, could have cut the runtime down on the movie. The biggest one that seemed, and again, this kind of goes to length of film for me, was it seemed like a lot of the scenes were written for the music they wanted to use, not necessarily they had music that fit well with the scenes. In the first movie, a lot of the music seemed to fit better. Maybe it was edited in better, I'm not sure, but I just liked the way that the music was put in the first one better than this one. I felt this one was just, I don't know, the music just didn't click as much. It was great music, but I just didn't find that it worked well for me, so I'm not sure if that's just a me thing or if that's, you know, something changed with the music editor or things they had in that kind of nature. So overall, I would say this is probably a C+, B- movie for me. I know there's a lot of people, talking to friends and coworkers, that like this one as much as the first one. I definitely do not fall into that camp. I definitely think this is a lesser grade movie to me anyhow. Yes, it answers questions about things and it explains a lot of things, but I think it could have been done better. It could have been done in, you know, like I said, a half an hour less time of movie run time, and I just think it could have been handled better. Do I think you should see it? Sure, I think you should absolutely see it. I think there's definitely parts of it worth seeing. You know, if you can wait and see it on a matinee, pay a little bit less. I definitely, you know, IMAX might be cool to see it for some of the visuals, but I wouldn't necessarily run out just to see IMAX, especially at the cost of IMAX now. If you want to wait to Redbox, I think you'd be okay with that. Or like I said, maybe a matinee, you know, something like that. So that is my review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I hope to see you next time around the pond, and until then, take care.